Hi, everybody, and thank you for coming back to the Ascension Playground. My name is Ursi, and we're at the very end of October and so ready to greet November 2022. And what a year it has been. So, what brings me so much joy is offering free mini galactic soul readings to subscribers just to give something more back as we've reached over 600 subscribers to date. It's just phenomenal. So, thank you. I know it's not so much about the numeric as it is about engagement and soul connections. So, today, Twinkle Star, may we all learn from your little soul reading here now. Okay, so let me go see. I've been noticing this little orb of light that's popping in and out, almost like a twinkle star. So let's see if you can see it pop in and out as we go forward. Here we go. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, Twinkle Star would like to know more about her spiritual growth and development. Yes, a focus on spiritual growth. That's fascinating. And so when I felt and tuned into that request, I wondered about this idea about us being in the third dimension, and being in 3D, incorporating into the body. And playing this game of separation and individuality. So I wanted to share this picture first about the fields, the Mother Earth, her greenery, her sustenance. This looks like wheat to me. So, this idea of yes, spirit, as well as grounding ourselves in this cross of matter and spirit together. So, let's see what's next. Before doing and plunging into a galactic soul reading, this idea of placing our feet on the earth while we're in the third dimension. Many of you know about grounding, but I just thought I would put this energy out there here now on the playground. This idea of, will you take time today to kick off your shoes, no matter how cold it is, and maybe just place your feet on the ground? And will you join me in sending our Mother Earth love? This is one of those sacred teaching practices that I learned along the way, and that is placing the two hands on your heart, standing outside, preferably barefoot on the ground, and then you close your eyes and you send pictures of from your heart to Mother Earth. Think of the happiest place you've been on Earth. Was it the time you went to Hawaii? Was it the time that, you visited some amazing rainforest or the desert or the mountains? That happy place on Earth. Send your visual pictures down to Mother Earth, and it goes deep, deep, deep down into her center. Secondly, do you remember what the sweetest animal on Earth was to you? If you don't own a pet, perhaps when you were a child and you went to the zoo for the first time, do you remember being hypnotized by a particular animal or fish or insect? Send that visual picture on down, 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 down to Mother Earth. She receives these visual messages and the love that's attached to them. And then thirdly, do you have a favorite tree on Earth? And if you don't, I want you to think about a favorite tree, a tree that either you climbed as a child, or you went to as a young adult, or that you visit frequently now. So send that joyful image of your favorite tree with all the feelings and support that that tree has given us or given you down, down, down to Mother Earth. These visual feeling messages that we send down to the core from our heart to hers, the Mother Earth who helped us incarnate. I mean, we are that which we stand upon, right? Water, mineral, you break it all down. Yes, we come from the stars. However, we're grounded on the earth. So thank you, because today happens to be Sunday. And so if this is a beautiful little easy practice to do or teach your grandchildren or children, it's just fun to remember we're here now in this moment living on Earth. But without further ado, let's now look at the galactic soul records. So from the perspective of Earth, that moment of birth is the snapshot of your soul's karmic connections. It's like this idea of what wardrobe did you agree to wear? What was the script? Who are the other partners? What did you say? Okay, in this lifetime, I'm going to challenge myself and basically learn something so that I don't have to keep carrying it forward. You know, what lessons did I sign up for, in other words, on the Earth School? Okay, so Twinkle Star, Twyla, let's see. You came in this time with your sun in Capricorn. It's a very early Capricorn. So my friend, you may feel less of a Capricorn sunlight and perhaps more of the previous Sagittarian. So Sagittarius may feel more like you, the explorer, the philosopher, the one who aims high and shoots deeply into the galactic. Okay, so, but you chose Capricorn to experience now. This is the step-by-step progression out in the world with a vocation. Step by step, very methodical, earth-based Capricorn. Where did you place your sun? You said, I'd like to experience my sun in early Capricorn in the 11th house of social networks, my friends, my groups, my social networks, my hopes and dreams. So let's take a quick peek. You talked about wanting to know about spiritual growth, spiritual growth. So as I'm taking a peek at this idea of spiritual growth, oh, I already went down and I underscored. Let me see if I can do this. I underscored already Sagittarius. Remember how I said your sun was in the early degrees of Capricorn? So right before on the zodiacal wheel, right before we hit Capricorn, it's Sagittarius. So this idea of, do you feel more Sagittarian? You know, really wanting the truth with capital T. None of this little truths. You want the deeper wisdom, the judge, the beneficial one. So we see Sagittarius is on fire and lighting up your midheaven. It's also pairing, Sagittarius is pairing with your Mercury, how you communicate. So this idea of communications, look at that number, 24 degrees, 44 minutes, Mercury sitting in the house 10 of career, Capricorn, with Sagittarius. So, and you also look a little further down, Jupiter is sitting in Sagittarius in the 10th house. Jupiter rules Sagittarius, and so you've got an extra underscore of this whole Sagittarian. Now here's the thing with Sagittarius. Half man, half horse, with the bow and arrow aiming high. Learning how to balance the bestial nature along with the human. So this idea of balance, but Sagittarius learns by moving. So it's this movement. But you placed your sun in this lifetime in Capricorn, Earth, and then look at your moon, Earth, Taurus. So how do you get balanced in this life? It's interesting that I went right to this idea of thinking about pictures of Earth when I started tuning into your records. And here we see the moon is in Taurus in the second house of Taurus. So yes, Taurus, the ground. I like to know where my boundaries are. I always think of the little cottage with the white picket fence, and there's the bull, Taurus, in the pasture. It loves the cozy comforts of like a warm bed and lots of good food in the cupboard. So earth, but your question was about spiritual. So I'm going to move to this. I saw many things, yes, in the galactic, but looking at your foundation Western astrology wheel. This is again from astro.com. You can go and find your free natal wheel just by entering your personal information in. So here we see, and I've highlighted it in yellow, a beautiful grand earth trine. Grand earth trine. The beauty about the grand trines, whether it's earth, air, fire, water, is that there's ease. So if you look and you see you have this equilateral triangle showing up in your natal chart, find out which element it's in. For Twinkle star, it's showing up in earth. Her sun is trining, looks like Mars, which is trining her moon. So sun and moon trining with Mars. So with every good quality, which means ease, ease in the earth world, ease with grounding, ease. The other side of the coin is sometimes we can get locked in to that little pasture. There's so much ease, there's no desire to move out. There's no little shove or pinprick or bee bite to get the bull out of the pasture. So a spiritual growth. So then I went to see, well, what is it that your north node, the point where we figure out this is what your soul agreed to kind of focus on. This is what I'm here to focus on. Your true node is down in the third house. This is the third house of early education. It's the house of Gemini, the twins, the chatter, 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 jack of all trades, master of none, but chatter, chatter. The chatty Cathys live here, and it's in the sign of Taurus. So your north node, dear Twinkle star, is pointing to this idea of, yes, lots of information, lots of I'm talking things through, but where you came from before that was the ninth house of Sagittarius. So when you go equal and opposite away from the north or the true node, what you're more comfortable with is being the philosopher, being the guru, the teacher. But in this lifetime, it's much more personal. You're saying, I want to go back and really ground myself into this idea of a true north node in Taurus, an earth sign. Interesting, you want to do spiritual growth when everything is pointing through to the grounding of earth. And so here's what's coming up for me. When you ground and go deep, 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 deep into the earth, really ground, the more we go in, it's almost like there's this incredible portal in the center of the earth that then toroids out. And this trajectory of going deep within the earth only to go out again into the galactic. So your desire to go into spiritual growth and development may be found in more grounding, really work with Mother Earth, ground with her, and then hold on to your seatbelt buckle, because you better buckle up, because then you go out. Now there is a particular galactic star to talk about, and that is Betelgeuse. Here we see Betelgeuse at 28 degrees Gemini, and I'm looking over here at the chart. 28 degrees Gemini, 1 minute, 48 seconds. It's very close and conjoined to your natal Uranus. And Uranus is the ruler of your chart because you have an Aquarius rising. So wherever your rising sign is, you look for that ruling planet and see what it's telling you in your chart. Your Uranus is sitting in the fourth house. This is psychological foundation. It's your ancestry. It's home. It's that deep-rooted home. It's the base. But my friend, you're probably such an old soul that you chose to say, okay, I'm going to really make myself into a little bit of a pretzel in this lifetime, because I've already been there, done that. I've had the easy lifetimes, the difficult ones, but now here comes an extra challenge that you've added to your wardrobe. And this is what you said. You said, I'm going to have an intercepted house 4 and an intercepted house 10 in this lifetime. And any planet sitting in my 4th house or my 10th house will be suppressed. In other words, they're going to feel like they're underwater. for most of my life until I focus on it and become aware of it and learn to transmute that energy that I agreed to. So, what does the fourth house represent? Again, it's foundation, it's you feeling like you're home. But if it's intercepted, you're not going to feel like you're from here. And now your 10th house, opposite the fourth, is you out in the world. And you've got not only an intercepted house of career and vocation, but you've got the planet Mercury and Jupiter, both kind of underwater. So, we do this. That's where the beautiful yin yang of light and dark come to mix and match. And we would also add, when you look at your wheel, that the whole sign of Pisces and Virgo are also suppressed. So don't be alarmed. It's just how you decided to be a little more complicated in this particular lifetime. So if I was you and I was trying to figure out spiritual growth, I'd first look at your horizon line and see that's from the ascendant to the descendant. And you notice how just about so many, most of your planets are above the horizon line. This is how you are out in the world, okay, either social or transpersonal. If you look below, you really only have your moon, your north node, and Uranus. And then we threw in Betelgeuse. Okay, so what does Betelgeuse mean? Let me see if I brought one more slide. Ah, here it is. Oh, this is your transits. What does Betelgeuse mean? When you look at the work of Bernadette Brady, who studied the stars and their myths, the succinct answer is Betelgeuse is one of the shoulders of the great hunter warrior giant named Orion. So in the Orion constellation, you have the Betelgeuse star. So one shoulder is holding the shield. The other shoulder is the one holding the club. So Betelgeuse is associated with the arm that is got the club in it, the one that will strike and fight. So Betelgeuse, sitting in your fifth house of creativity, self-expression, joy, and children, Betelgeuse is saying you'll be successful. You have every success if you choose it in your fifth house. And again, that fifth house is Betelgeuse is conjoining with Uranus. So what I'm going to add is thank you very much. And now here comes Uranus. This is the planet within our solar system that really speaks to the future. It's the most galactic, and like things come suddenly, downloads, electricity. It's a representative of where we're moving in the Aquarian age. So with Betelgeuse saying in your fifth house, you have the potential for success with self-expression, and it can be fueled with emerging to Uranus. Then we look straight across and we see that 11th house sun. So how to become more focused on your spiritual growth, you could look at the transpersonal houses, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So let's just go see what your transits look like now. And we're seeing the transits on the outside of this wheel. Again, if you go to astro.com, just click the button after you do your natal chart, and there's something that says with transits. You put that in. So I'm doing this transits today, October 30th, 2022. And what comes up for me is look how Saturn is very near your ascendant. We would say that Saturn is guiding and informing your ascendant at this time. Now, the current ruler of Aquarius is Uranus, as I've said, but the ancient ruler of Aquarius was Saturn. So Saturn with Aquarius, and we've just mentioned Uranus. There's something that wants to come through. So I think this feeling about spiritual development and growth, tune into your Saturn. There's a fabulous astrologer named Anne Ortley through the Astrology Hub. I don't know if she's still with the Astrology Hub, but she was one of their previous teachers. And she did this whole program on do your Saturn. And so there's workshops through the Astrology Hub with Anne Ortley. Do your Saturn. Your natal Saturn, let's see, is sitting in the 7th house of Leo. So you could almost see that you have an opposition right now, a Saturn opposition between where your natal Saturn is sitting in the 7th house and where it's sitting now in the 1st house, very near the ascendant. Boy, lots of stuff to share. In essence, I put this last slide, not knowing where the conversation would go, to this idea of remembering to breathe in and out. And remembering that we are all part of Mother Earth. And Twinkle Star, your path into the heavens for spiritual development is truly going to be going deeper within and grounding with Mother Earth. There's so much joy, there's so much expansion to be had by actually going the opposite way. And if I interpreted your idea of going and doing more spiritually, please forgive me, but also accept this rather spontaneous, synchronistic message for anyone listening to ground, to breathe in. And if you're trying to seek all that's out in the skies and the heavens, maybe go inward before you go outward. You know, one of the Hermetic principles, we've all heard this before, as above, so below. As within, so without. Hermetic principles. So in case you didn't know, because I had to remind myself, that word Hermetic principles comes from Hermes. Hermes, yes, Mercury. You know, there's that whole idea of the Trimegistus Hermes. Hermes Trismegistus. I know I'm just horribly destroying the real word, but it's this idea that these major principles, I believe there's 7, and that was one of them. As above, so below. As within, so without. Breathe in, breathe out. Tune in, go out. Well, thanks for staying and playing with me here on the Ascension Playground. We've got a bolt of light joining us. Let's see if there's any other little orbs that, well, there's something. Oh, we could call it dust or we could call it something else, but there's these little tiny little things moving around. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Till next time, we'll see you later on the Ascension Playground. Bye for now. They're still popping up. Bye.